Terry, as you well know, we lost on November 3rd for a lot of reasons, a lot of factors. Some of them were within our control, and some of them were not. I know you don't want to rehash the campaign, but moving forward, looking ahead, what can we do as Virginia Democrats, things that are within our control, whether with the Democratic Party of Virginia or the local or state level, to start turning this situation around?
But let me say, too, we should have won the election. I don't buy any of this that, was it going to be a tougher climate out there because some people didn't like healthcare? My bottom line point is President Obama carried Virginia for the first time in 44 years. Those voters existed. They were out there. We didn't energize them to come out. We could have beaten Bob McDonnell. We had to lay out our plan of why we wanted to give people a reason. Jobs. We had to lay out why vote for the Democrats. I mean, I always thought the best argument is, okay, your government, the federal government is spending trillions of dollars in incentives across this great country. Now, who'd do better at picking up the phone and calling the Oval Office? I just think if you have a Democrat in the Oval Office, as I used to say, y'all used to hear, I was going to torture poor President Obama. I'd be calling him every hour as a president. We want high-speed rail, I got this. I mean, I can tell they have a coffee. Crazy. I would have been all over like Velcro. But that's what you have to do. That was a very important argument, to access that money. And I don't want to get into all the Virginia issues, but we have real issues here. We all know another probably $3 to $4 billion is going to have to be cut out of our budget. We are down to the bone. We are now going at the heart. We are going to gut education. Which, you know what? You want it as governor, you want me to bring in all these new businesses from CEOs? You got to tell them you got a qualified workforce. Now, you can't do that if you are cutting your education. It makes it very difficult. Incubators, there's a lot of things we should be doing in our community colleges. That's gone. Transportation, I don't tell anyone in this room. We all know. It's a mess. Next year, you may or may not know, I talk about this every day, we're one of 2 or 3 states, maybe the only state in the United States of America that will no longer be able to apply for federal highway matching funds. Think of that. Why? Because we will not have the state grant. In order to apply, you have to have the money designated in an account to access the, it's 80% federal, 20 state. We don't have the state match. So billions of dollars of your taxpayer money you sent to Washington is not coming back. That money is going to be spent in Illinois or Louisiana. These are big issues. Now, you have to spend money to make money. And the idea that, you're going to bring a business here and be stuck in traffic for, I had to go to Woodlawn last night for a little fundraiser. Shouldn't take me an hour and 45 minutes. But I'm sure you're all aware of the huge 3 accidents, I guess, on GW Parkway yesterday. It was beyond belief. Folks, we got to deal with this transportation issue because it gets in everything else. So, well, my point is, we got to show leadership on these big issues. But first of all, we should have won last year, or this year, because we won so big last year. Perfect setup. You had Tim Kaine was well above 50%, Mark Warner well above 50%, and President Obama, let's be clear, well above 50%. So let's not try to blame. No, their positives were higher than the negatives. And we just had to really turbocharge and fire up those voters, which is what did not happen. So,
well, I guess what I'm trying to get at is moving forward, what specifically can Democrats do? Should we, for example, in the state Senate, should we try to block everything that McDonnell did, what the Republicans are doing nationally, or DPBA?
I called up Bob McDonnell. I've talked to Bob twice. I said, I'm trying to bring businesses here. I got to have the governor's support to do it. And there's things he'll work with us on. Are you kidding me? No. It's not going back to the point. It's not partisan, and people hate that. What are you going to do for me? So I'll work with anybody. I always said that. I'll work with anybody if you're willing to work with me. And if Bob can help me do what I'm trying to do in biomass and build a green car factory, great. That doesn't matter. But what we have to do is, once again, be the leader on issues. He's going to have a very tough 4 years. We know it's $3.8 billion. Tax receipts are down. In October, they were down 10.5% from the October before. And we're not creating all these new jobs, so this is a domino effect where every month less tax revenues are coming in. The more jobs are created, you know the deal, and healthcare costs are going up. So he's going to have a very tough time. We've just got to continue to show people the way, what it is when you get a Democrat in office, what will happen on these issues. We just got to keep talking about it. But don't be so, don't beat yourselves up over last November. Don't. we still, our trademark, the Democrats here in Virginia, is very good. Those voters are out there, and if we have the leadership on the issues, we will win seats. Now, we got to do all we have to do. We've got to get the state party going. We've got to get new staff in there and deal on communications and issues and data development, and we've got to raise money. We've got to do all that with the party. We've got to do that relatively quickly and get that up and running. And we've got to hold Bob McDonald accountable when he does things that, are not what we stand for as Democrats or independents. But our future's bright. Look, we've had a great run here. I'm not one of these guys where you have a little bump in the road and everybody puts their head in that. That's not me, Lowell. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
No need to apologize.
No, let's move on. We've had a great run. 2 Democratic senators. We've got the governor that we had elected here. President Obama won the state. We should, that election was unique, but let's learn from it. I guess the one thing I'll learn, you got to motivate your folks to come vote for you. How do you motivate them? You got to give them a reason to vote for you. Not against someone. You can always do that. Press will do that for you. Vote for you. Why? That's why I kept talking about jobs. As I say, I was honored by McDonald stole my slogan. Honored in a certain way.
You have just talked about the important issues we should all be dealing with, and that's the economy, jobs, the environment, transportation. But we have a McDonald administration. Are we going to be fighting social wars for the next 4 years?
I hope not, but I think he is going to have his hands so full on this every day on these economic issues that he's not going to have a lot of time to try and. We are in such a difficult economic position, and as he said, the ultimate optimist. But until we start creating lots of jobs, which takes time, every month his sales tax revenue reports are going to come in, and personal income tax revenues are going to come in down, which means more cut. So, and I don't think the public wants it. Listen, I said when I was running, I've been talking all about economic issues. The social issues have been debated. That's not what you want. I was running for governor to create jobs. I'm not going to spend my time on the social issues. I think all they're relevant. What you need is a governor right now who's going to come out and deal with the economic issues. Whatever he's passed on the social issues, I don't think he's got the time, and I'm not sure he's got the votes on those issues to deal with. He's got his hands full trying to deal with job losses every single month. But I certainly hope not, because the public needs our help today.
But isn't that exactly when they start taking the social issues when they're going to look bad on serious issues, so they want to distract people's attention?
They could. I'm sure you've all read my New York Times bestseller, What a Party. Which, going to my Harvard story, the nuns at St. Anne's Grammar School never thought I would read a book, let alone write one. So it was a momentous occasion for me. But I talked about in '94, election night '94 was tough, the House and the Senate. And I went down to the White House with President Clinton, and it was just awful. It was not a good night. And he and I went up to the Truman balcony. I had a cigar and a beer. He said there was Diet Coke. And I said, Mr. President, let me tell you this. For us, is a godsend, because they are going to overreach. They will not be able to help themselves. And that's exactly what happened under the Gingrich administration in this country. The government got shut down, all the issues. And that made as I like to remind people, Bill Clinton did leave office with the highest approval rating of any president in our nation's history, 68. Reagan was 67. So could they overreach and deal with that? Maybe they can't help themselves. I don't know. I've debated Bob during the campaign. I think he's smart enough to know what he's got to deal with over the course of at least the next 2 years. He's got big issues. But I'll tell you this: our first big test is we've got a big election coming up, and Dave Marsden, we got to help him. The Post could not have laid it out any clearer. Our folks better be mobilized to come out and vote. This is a big test for us coming up.